Hey guys, today the brand new Mob of the Dead Remastered released on Black Ops 3 Custom Zombies, so I decided to go back and make a full map guide featuring all the Easter eggs and how to do everything in Mob of the Dead. Now, even though I'm making this for the remastered version, this is just as relevant to the original BO2 version, so it doesn't matter which version of the map you're playing, this video will still be relevant. So there will be timestamps in the time bar and in the description down below if you want to skip ahead to specific sections, because I'm going to cover everything for the newer players. And there's a special new little Easter egg specifically on the remastered version that I will cover as well. But with that said, let's just hop right into this. So the first thing you should know is that this map has the Afterlife system, which is where you can basically turn into a ghost. Also in Afterlife mode, make sure you revive yourself or have someone else revive you before your timer runs out on the meter, or you will actually go down. This sort of counts as sort of down / self revives, as well as it gives you the ability to zap, which can allow you to teleport zombies away, as well as to turn on power and individual perks, and even access certain areas. So the Warden's Key, for example, which can spawn on the left or the right side of the cell blocks, you'll need to jump up there while in Afterlife and zap the generator to lower the key, and then you can pick up that Warden's Key. For opening the Warden's office, you'll have to jump up above that and follow the path to the right to zap another generator down some stairs. To open the cafeteria, you have to enter the wall while in Afterlife that is just opposite of the cafeteria and parkour your way through it to zap another box. Also, to access the rooftop, you'll have to go to one of the hallways in the infirmary and climb up it in Afterlife to zap a box on the roof and open up the roof. And lastly, for turning on the main island sort of power, you'll have to zap 3 glowing generators with Afterlife in the power room, which is down by the docks, and one of those generators is actually hidden in a little hidden doorway that you can only see when you're in Afterlife. Next up, there's 3 hellhounds around the map that you can feed to get the Hell's Retriever. So each dog head needs to be fed 6 zombies each, and they only eat 1 at a time. So the first one's going to be in the Broadway area near spawn. It should be the door that opens from the library section. The second hellhound is going to be near the roof in the infirmary, right before you actually get to the roof area. And then the third and final dog is just going to be right down at the docks. Once you've filled up all 3 dog heads, you can collect the Hell's Retriever at the top area of the Citadel tunnels. Another thing you should know is Brutus is the map mini-boss on Mob of the Dead. He spawns in on round 9 initially, and he could spawn multiple times while you're at the Pack-a-Punch area, and he'll also just spawn in occasionally on later rounds. Not only is he mean and scary, but he can lock down perk machines and other various things if you let him get near to one, which will then force you to pay points to actually unlock that machine or perk. Getting into the buildables, the first buildable is the Acid Gat kit, which can upgrade the Blundergat to be an acid variant, which is really cool. So I'm quickly going to flash on screen the text for where each of the 3 parts are located with all 3 of their possible spawn locations. So those are the Acid Gat kit part locations. And now getting to the shield parts, here are all the possible locations for the 3 shield parts. So if you need to keep any of these on screen for longer than I'm showing in this video, just go ahead and pause the video, or you could even screenshot these to keep them as your personal notes. Now to craft these buildables, there's a table to craft them at the docks, upstairs of the cell block, or the cafeteria, so the choice is yours. Now to open up Pack-a-Punch / build the plane in Mob of the Dead, you're going to have to get 5 parts from around the map. First up is the uniforms, which can be found downstairs in the shower room, which is just below the cafeteria. So we have to open the gate down there with the Warden's Key and then zap the meter in there with Afterlife. You will then be able to start a lockdown by activating the washer. Survive the lockdown, then collect the uniforms from the washer. The rigging part can be found down in the spiral stair section of the Citadel tunnels. Simply open the gate on the panel at the bottom with the Warden's Key, and then enter Afterlife while you're at the top, and then descend down the stairs to see 3 numbers painted on the walls, and use Afterlife to zap in that code. Then a timer will start where someone will now need to go to the very bottom of the Citadel tunnels and grab the part from the now open elevator. The engine part can be found in the cell that's in the warden's office, which is usually electrified, but turning on the generators in the power room actually disables the electric lock on this door. The valves part can be found upstairs in the infirmary next to the Hellhound head, just in a case. And then the fifth and final part is the tank, which can be found down at the docks. Simply open the gate with the key, and then zap the Afterlife box to open the other gate and grab the part. If you're in co-op, however, zapping this will actually close the front gate, so you should have a teammate inside of there before zapping it, and then zap it again to help him get back out once he grabs the part. Once you have all 5 of these parts, take them to the roof to craft the plane. And then once you get on the plane, it's going to take you to the Golden Gate Bridge. But beware, if you're in co-op, once you get on the plane, it's going to start a timer, so try to make sure everyone is ready to get on the plane before you get on and leave someone behind. And you can go back to the main map by entering the electric chairs that spawn there after a minute or so. And then to actually get back to Pack-a-Punch once again, the round after all players are back in the normal map, gas canisters will now spawn near each of the locations you originally grabbed the plane parts from. So simply go and collect all these fuel canisters to refuel the plane to go to Pack once again. So now to get a free Blundergat, you're going to need the Hell's Retriever from filling up the 3 Hellhounds, and you're just going to have to tomahawk 5 skulls around the map. The first one is just going to be right outside the library in the sort of spawn jail cell. You should be able to see a skull and just tomahawk it. The second one's going to be on the roof. If you go all the way to the front left of the roof, tomahawk the corner of the next building, and you should get the second skull. The third one's going to be in the warden's office near Speed Cola. If you head over to the window barrier and look outside and look up at the telephone pole, you can tomahawk the top of it to get the next skull. And just keep in mind, you can hold down the tomahawk before throwing it to charge it up once or twice to make it go further. The next skull is going to be at the docks on the 3rd pillar in the water. So it's just going to be out there in the distance. The next skull is going to be at the light pole that's closest to the bottom of the gondola. If you actually just head up to the Juggernog area and look straight up at it, you can hit it if you charge up your tomahawk and jump if necessary and hit the top of that light pole to get the next skull. Once you have these 5 skulls, simply head back to the warden's office where the Blundergat will now appear on the desk. So, to do the main Easter egg on Mob of the Dead, you would need to get yourself the Hell's Retriever, and then you need to go to Pack-a-Punch and come back to the map at least once. And I believe your whole team needs to come back, but once you've returned from the bridge, you can go and tomahawk this poster in the cell block area outside of the warden's office. Then you can go hit the Afterlife box to the left, where you will now see a secret tunnel that has opened up just to the left. Go inside there behind the wall, and on the ground you're going to see a spoon. So simply zap this spoon until you hear a sound cue and it disappears. It might be a little bit hard to hit, so try to aim towards the actual circular part of the spoon. Next up, you're going to need to get yourself the Blundergat. So you can get it from the box, or you could do it the free way, as I showed in the previous little section. Once you've done that, you're going to have to go to the bridge twice more, totaling to 3 times. So you build the plane, go to the bridge, come back, and then the next round, refuel it, go to the bridge, come back. Next round after that, refuel it, go to the bridge, come back for 3 times in total, and now you're ready to finish the Easter egg. But warning, finishing the Easter egg will end your game at the very end after the boss fight. So to finish off the Easter egg, once you come back into the map for the 3rd time, you're going to notice the dial at the bottom of the Citadel tunnels is flickering through a whole bunch of numbers. So simply go into Afterlife and you have to enter the 4 characters sort of numbers each into the dial. So the first code is 101, and then once you type that in, it'll reset it, and then you have to type in 872, and then usually you don't want your Afterlife to run out because then you will bleed out. So usually on this part, I go and revive myself, and then use the next Afterlife when I get the chance, and then come back down and type in the rest, which is 386, and then lastly 481. So after you've successfully typed in those 4 codes, after you revive yourself and get back up, it will start sort of a black and white storytelling part. Once the dialogue finishes, you will then have to follow the path of audio tapes that will eventually lead you up to the roof. So just kind of pick up each tape and kind of stay in the kind of vicinity of it before following to the next one and trying to find it. Eventually, once you collect the last one at the roof, and after the final bit of dialogue finishes, you and everyone in your match now needs to go into Afterlife and then go get on the plane at the same time while in Afterlife mode. As far as I'm aware, the plane doesn't even need to be refueled at this point, as this is the kind of end of the Easter egg. Once the plane lands on the Golden Gate Bridge, you can go revive yourselves from the electric chairs this time around, and now it will initiate a boss fight with the Weasel character. So if one of your teammates is playing as Weasel, you'll become the boss, basically. You'll get extra health, extra damage, and the rest of you kind of have to out-survive him and try to kill him. But of course, Weasel can still kill all of you guys and win, so it's basically turned into a PvP match from here. On Black Ops 2 on the original, you can't really do this part in solo. I don't even think you can finish this Easter egg in solo per se. But on the Black Ops 3 remastered version, if you're in solo, it will actually spawn in an AI Weasel that you can fight, and once either side has died, that is the completion of the main Easter egg quest, and the match will automatically end. So, getting into some helpful side quests, we have the Hell's Redeemer upgrade. So once you actually have the Hell's Retriever, you simply need to go to the Golden Gate Bridge where Pack-a-Punch is, but as soon as you land, don't kill any zombies or Pack-a-Punch your gun, don't even shoot any bullets, and you simply have to only get kills with the Hell's Retriever. It's going to spawn Brutus though, so be careful, and that's why doing this little upgrade step is best on an earlier round as early as possible. But simply kill a bunch of zombies with your Hell's Retriever. It might actually take a few rounds, it might even be like 2 or 3 rounds, and then you'll hear a very distinct sound effect play, signaling that you have completed it. So once that's completed, you can head back into the main map, and then in the cell block underneath the area where you did the first dog head, you can find a little portal down there, or a lava pool, and you just want to charge up your tomahawk and throw it into there. You'll know you correctly got the needed amount of kills on the bridge if this tomahawk will go into the pool. It'll make another distinct noise, and your tomahawk will be taken away from you. After that's over, go ahead and end the round and go on to the next round. I believe it's only one more round you have to go, and then if you actually go back to where you originally picked up the Hell's Retriever, you'll see a blue glow coming from it. If you see this, this means you can now go into the Afterlife mode, and then come over here and you can now pick up the upgraded Hell's Redeemer in Afterlife. This makes the tomahawk much stronger, and you can charge it up to 3 times before throwing. Next up, we have the Magma Gat upgrade, and this is exclusive to the Black Ops 3 Mob of the Dead remastered version. So you're going to need the base Blundergat, and then you're going to have to go to the bridge and come back 3 times, just like you're doing in the main Easter egg quest. So once you've gone to the bridge and came back 3 times, you can now go to the Warden's office and interact with the fireplace to make some boards disappear, and then you can place the Blundergat inside the fireplace. This will now initiate a lockdown in the Warden's office where you'll have to survive and kill zombies to fill up these skulls in there. But once all 3 skulls are glowing blue and you walk up to the fireplace and it says you can pick up the tempered Blundergat, you can pick it up and it should have a glowing blue barrel now. And what you need to do is take it all the way down to the power generator room while keeping it heated and warm. So to do this, you want to walk next to and touch the fiery blue barrels that'll be along the path all the way down from the Warden's office all the way down to the bottom of the Citadel tunnels, hitting each of the ones as you go until you can finally reach the power generator room, where on the left side of the room you can now place the Blundergat inside of the machine and it will turn into the Magma Gat. And this version is probably the best version of the Blundergat ever because it does not have the splash damage of the Acid Gat, and when you shoot it on the ground it'll still attract zombies, but it'll pretty much insta-kill them and burn them as they get near to it and touch it. Next up, back to a little side weapon that is on both the BO2 version and the BO3 remaster, we have the Golden Spork. So after you zap the spoon during one of the earlier steps of the main Easter egg quest, you could then go to the back side of the cafeteria cafeteria and look into the window, and on the left you will be able to throw your tomahawk and collect another spoon that's on the counter in there. So once you have that, you can then go upstairs to the infirmary and place your spoon in the bathtub, and then you'll see it start spinning and swirling in there. Once you've done this, you just simply want to head down into the showers near the washing machine area, and you're going to need an acid gat. And what you're going to want to do is get a bunch of kills in the showers with the acid gat. I think it might be 50 to 100 or maybe more, but it's nothing too crazy. You might just spend a couple rounds down there. But once you've gotten enough kills with the acid gat down in the showers, you should hear a distinct laugh. Once you hear that, you can then go back up to the bathtub in the infirmary to collect the golden spork. This is a melee weapon that is a one-hit kill to about round 33, so it's really useful. So for the Easter egg songs on Mob of the Dead, the first one can be activated by interacting with 3 whiskey bottles around the map. The first one's going to be in the spawn library area, just on a shelf. The second one's going to be in the upstairs infirmary area, kind of near the bathtub. And then the third and final bottle is going to be all the way down at the docks, just sort of tucked away in a corner. Once you activate these 3 bottles, it'll now play Rusty Cage by Johnny Cash. And lastly, the second Easter egg song is very simple. You simply need to go into the Citadel tunnels in Afterlife and go to the dial and type in 935 into the dials, and it will then play Where Are We Going by Kevin Sherwood and sung by Maluka. And lastly, also exclusive to the Mob of the Dead remastered version on BO3 Zombies, if you have the Magma Gat, make your way upstairs of the infirmary, head to the left side here, and shoot this board on the wall with the Magma Gat. Make sure you shoot it a couple times if it's not melting away, and it'll eventually disappear and melt away and reveal a Stamin-Up machine inside. So you will need to zap it with Afterlife to turn it on, but now you have access to Stamin-Up on Mob of the Dead Remastered. But yeah, guys, this was your full map guide with all the Easter eggs and the full breakdown of Mob of the Dead. If there's anything new found, specifically in the remastered version, I will be sure to drop that in the comments down below. Thank you all for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed and found this useful. If you did, be sure to smash that like button, subscribe for more zombies guides, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.